Let's make a deal. This is Jeff Hood with Keller Williams Hood Company in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. The real estate market is moving so fast, and making a mistake or a bad decision could cost you or lead to disappointment. At Keller Williams, our team of professionals are the very best at what they do, and they have the very best resources to help you make your best deal. Call us at 931-762-5816, or better yet, go to our website at kwhoodcompany.com. We're Keller Williams Hood Company, making real estate deals great again.
All right, folks, good morning to you, and thank you so much for stopping by Studio B for 43 TV today. I'm Ben Luna, joined by our special guest of the day, Lawrenceburg Fire Chief Jay Moore, who is hanging out with us today to talk about a number of things going on, not only pertaining to fire safety for the overall city of Lawrenceburg and surrounding areas, but also we do have some pretty important weather events on deck, not just today, but coming up next week with extreme cold. The Chief's going to talk a little bit about that and how you can keep you and yourself safe when the temperatures drop to the single digits, if not below zero, in the coming days, and find out a little bit about what's happening with the fire department. Big announcement last year, year before, one of the two, about a huge improvement in ISO rating and adding some new trucks to the city, and just overall a very busy 23 you guys had.
Has been. Sure has. We've trying to progress the department and to meet the community's needs, the public's needs, and provide the services we need to be providing for them, for their safety and their welfare here in the city of Lawrenceburg.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to hop right into it, and I know that you've had, like I said, a busy 2023 call volume, probably one of the largest on record for the fire department in running medical calls, fire calls, car accidents, cats up a tree too.
We still do that occasionally.
Every now and then, that hasn't gone away. Yeah. But off the top, let's talk about the weather. You've got some really extreme weather conditions coming in over the course of the next several days, where we've got temperatures that will be probably in the single digits to below zero in Lawrenceburg and surrounding areas, in addition to very strong winds. Wind speeds exceeding 55 miles per hour in some cases over the course of the next few days. Talk about the fire prevention methods for folks trying to heat their home first, because this time of year is always a large fire season, unfortunately, right, for many fire departments.
That's true. We do have the cold weather coming in, and a mixture of weather, to be honest with you, over the next 5 days or so. With this cold weather coming in, heating can be a problem. The first thing I want to talk about is not to heat with your ovens, or your stoves, especially if they're gas. That puts off carbon monoxide, and then we have carbon monoxide poisoning situations that could happen, so we sure don't want to get into that situation. If you're using some type of alternative heat or heat in a wall heater or any type of space heater, be sure you've got ample space around those heaters. We have a lot of fires throughout the year with space heaters and things too close, them setting too close to combustibles or flammables and causing a fire. So it is going to be difficult to keep your house somewhat toasty, I guess you could say, in the coming days with these temperatures we've got coming in. But exercise caution. Maybe throw an extra blanket on the bed, or throw a blanket, in the chair with you to cover up with. Try to stay warm, try to stay comfortable, and keep plenty of distance between your heating sources and any flammables or combustibles.
Lots of folks, I think, have tried to move toward infrared heaters in the past few years. Are those safer than what I guess companies want you to believe they are?
Right.
Are they really?
The infrared heaters do a great job. You have to be aware that most infrared heaters are gas operated, whether it be propane or natural gas. There are some electric, but most of them are gas operated. Well, they tell you they're a ventless heater. But if you'll read the fine print and instructions, it also says to keep a window cracked or something like that, to be able to let fresh oxygen in, because it does put off, regardless of how it burns, it is going to put off some type of carbon monoxide that could build up as far as poisoning. So you definitely want, to crack a door occasionally and let a little fresh air in. Maybe crack the top of a window just a hair where you don't have a breeze blowing in all the time, but you got fresh air coming in occasionally. So they do a good job. You just have to use caution when using those.
Very good. All right, let's kind of touch on some of those other heating methods, because flue fires this time of year, top out. I think the county's already had a few. I think maybe y'all had one or two. Prevention steps. What can people do to keep from burning their chimney and then their house?
First of all, before the season began, you should have had your chimney inspected, checked by a chimney sweep company to come in and make sure it's good and clean from Crisso and ready to go for the year. If you haven't done that, that's something you definitely need to do. We still have a lot of winter left to come. We've got the rest of January, all of February, and we've had snow in March. You still got a lot of winter to come. That's a bridge you need to cross and get taken care of to make sure you are safe in burning wood at your house. Make sure that when you're filling your heater, that you have ample ventilation and get the door shut back like it should to seal it off when you are heating with wood inside your house. You can get carbon monoxide poisoning from burning wood and other toxins, if it's not vented appropriately. As Ben said, you have a flue fire, which invokes the fire department having to come out most of the time. You can have a house fire from that if it's not installed correctly and it gets too hot and conducts heat to where it shouldn't be conducting it through the double layer pipes, if that's the way it is, or if it's a block chimney, brick chimney, whatever the case may be, and the conduction of heat gets to where it needs to be, or it's cracked, it could cause a fire. So just a little bit of maintenance work on your part could save you thousands of dollars in damage if you're heating with wood.
Chief, let's talk about the steps if people think they may have an issue at home. And I say issue pertaining to they think they may smell smoke, they may have a fuse that pops when they really start trying to heat. And they want to say, oh, no, I'm not going to call 911, but this is one of those opportunities where, yeah, you probably should. When I was in the fire service, and I think the motto is still very relevant today too, we would rather you call us and not need us than you need us and not call us.
That's exactly right, Ben. If you have a situation during these cold weather spells, or even at any time like that, where you have a breaker trip, or you hear something pop that you're not sure of in the breaker box area, anything like that, call 911. There's not dispatches there to answer 911. They'll answer your call. Give them the information, and they'll dispatch the appropriate fire department, whether it's the Lawrenceburg Fire Department or any of the county fire departments, to try to check the situation out. You'd rather be safe than sorry for us to come out and hopefully not find anything. But if it is something that we can stop the situation that's happening to you, get an electrician in there, or whatever the case may be. If it's a gas leak, get the gas cut off and get a gas person in there to fix your gas. Don't be afraid to call when you need help, because by the time you make that call needs to be made till the time you actually make the call. When something does happen, a lot of precious minutes have escaped and went by to save your property or life during a situation like that.
All right, Chief, we'll have more with Jay Moore and talking about what's new in the Lawrenceburg Fire Department coming up after this. You are watching 43 TV Today.
You count on your coat to keep you covered through the winter months, your hat to keep you covered in the summer sun, your umbrella to keep you covered in stormy weather. And you can count on Marcus Insurance to keep you covered too. Marcus Insurance can help you find the right insurance policy that fits your individual needs. For personal, life, health, or business insurance, we've got you covered. Marcus Insurance, providing peace of mind since 1969.
All All right, welcome back to 43 TV Today. Ben Luna joined by Lawrenceburg Fire Chief Jay Moore, talking about fire prevention methods and a little bit about what's new downtown. Was it last year or year before? It all kind of blends together now. Lawrenceburg Fire achieved a huge milestone with a ISO rating of 2.
That's correct.
And still have the ISO 2 rating, which is awesome. Right. And to John Q. Public watching, they say, hey, I'm sure that's great. What does that mean for folks?
Right. Yeah, we have worked real hard toward this. We were an ISO 3 for many years, and we worked hard to try to get to obtain a 2. And what that means is we were to give you a little history. We were a 4 probably 20 years ago, an ISO class 4, and we dropped to a 3, which saved, at that time in history, it saved the taxpayers and their home insurance about 15 to 20% insurance savings to the end user as far as the customer is. We've worked hard through the years, the last 10 years, to try to drop that rating as much as we could. We were excited that we got to drop it to a class 2, which does somewhat help residential customers, but it helps the commercial side even more. Save on your insurance. So we, as a lot of people say, the fire department is a cost, is a cost, is a cost. We are a cost, but we try to put that cost towards savings for you in the insurance rating service classification in class 2. Would save you on that side. So trying to save you money in that aspect. This rating is based off our water department, it's based off our 911 center, it's based off of the fire department itself and their response times, the equipment they have, the staffing they have, and the abilities they have and turnout time that they have. So it's a collaboration of a lot of departments coming together to work to try to save the end user, the citizen you, money on your insurance as much as possible.
All right, let's touch on another big thing that you've got going. And I think you've been at the fire department for going on, what, 40 years?
40, almost? Been at the city going on 40 years.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That is
Appreciate
awesome. You've made a wonderful career out of this. And we are living in a generation, my generation was taught that if you have the opportunity to get on at the city, fire department, police department, public works, anything, you jump at the opportunity because you're going to be taken care of. And I think that sentiment is still there, but you've got a whole new generation of folks who are looking for career opportunities. Talk a little bit about the family atmosphere of the fire department. Why does, even right now you've got high schools who are letting kids walk out with EMR, which is the base EMT license now, and we have a beautiful fire training school in this county. Bell Buckle, where the state school is not far, it's just down the road a little ways. They could find a 40-year-long career too right downtown.
This is true. The high school, like you said, has the EMR program, which is a requirement to even be hired at our department full time. Because 70% of our call volume throughout the year is medical calls and wrecks, which, based on any business, you're going to base your personnel and your services and your training as toward your highest call volume as much as possible, while not leaving the fire side out, because we still do fire training. The high school seniors, junior seniors, my suggestion or advice to them, if your department has a junior program, or you're 18 years of age or above, and you think you're interested in this, is get with your local fire department. The volunteer departments are always needing help. They can work you in. They can get you training to see if it is really something you want to do, and help the community out. We currently have right now, and I say we, when I say we, in this aspect, I'm talking about County Fire, Lawrence County Fire Rescue, and Lawrenceburg Fire Department in collaboration. is conducting a 16-hour intro to the fire service at the fire school, at the Fire Training Center, Jason Dickey Memorial Fire Training Center, that is required by the state. They are going through that. We're also, right after that, immediately after that, starting a 64-hour basic class that teaches you all the basics of firefighting for your career, which is also required by the state. After that, they will be doing some type of live burn, which is also required by the state before you can actually fight any fire. So it's not just join the fire department, go fight fire. There is training requirements, and it's to keep you safe, so you know what's going on. So you know that sounds like a lot of time. It's really not. I mean, you're talking about 80 hours of training in the classroom, hands-on portion, and then a weekend of live burn to see if it's what you want to invest your time in for a career to reach that 40-year mark or greater. Again, I'd contact your local fire department, whether it be ours or some fire department in Lawrence County Fire and Rescue, which there's 13 departments out there, along with Box 50, which is 14, which is a service department that takes care of our firefighters. Anytime we have a structure fire or a major call, anything like that, they're called. They bring us water, they bring us snacks. They do a great, wonderful job of that. So there's more service work that can be done other than just firefighting in Lawrence County Fire and Rescue.
All right, let's talk. Well, I'll tell you that when I went through live burn, I did this years and years ago before the training center was even conceived. So this was in Bell Buckle, and the training chief, and I think he was with Tullahoma. I think we're all there. We're ready to go into the tower for a mock fire, and we're all excited, adrenaline's pumping, and he said, "All right, boys, get ready. This is the most fun you'll ever have with your clothes on. So go on in." So that was fun.
Yes.
That was fun, and it is a fun and rewarding career.
It is. It's not for everybody. I will say that, and I will say this. I said this at a recruit class that 3 of our guys graduated from Columbia. It's not something you're going to get rich at in your pocketbook. You're going to make a decent living and a good paycheck to take care of your family, as far as at the city of Lawrenceburg. But your reward and your pay is in your heart when you're out there helping somebody. That's where you're going to get rich. You're going to get very rich in your heart by being able to help somebody in their time of need. Because in our job, just like in an emergency room, we're seeing everybody we see on their worst possible day at the worst possible time. And we're trying to mediate that the best we can to help them, whatever the case may be, whether it's a medical call or a fire situation, a wreck. We're trying to bring that some calmness to that and help treat this patient to get them to a higher level of care.
All right. I know it's been a few days since you've done this. Do you remember your very first call?
Oh, me. Yeah, I was, my very first fire call, I'll put it that way, was out around Watson Road. It was a house fire. It had got up into the attic, and I ended up having to go up into the attic. And now, when we talk a long time ago, we're talking about 43 years ago. This was when the county was all volunteer then, just like it is now. But we didn't have but like 5 stations, 5 departments then, versus now we have 13, with the 14th being
The box.
Box 50, yes. So yes, that's been a long time ago. A lot of water over and under the bridge since then.
Yeah, quite literally.
Literally, yes.
Your time is in Lawrenceburg, spent in the fire department here. I guess and I say this because Lawrence County has had a very illustrious career with natural disasters, or illustrious relationship. And if you read the history of it, I mean, this goes back since records were kept here, from tornadoes and violent floods in the 1900s, and then had a really, really big cold spell in the 60s where you had a lot of winter stuff. the 70s ramped back up with more tornado events. But, you know, when you put your career into perspective in the modern era, you've covered and worked some of the biggest weather disasters in county history that have affected the city. F5 tornado, or countless tornadoes, really.
Right.
And then the big flood.
Right.
Which one of these, and I'm probably have missed over, but what event really sticks out to you as a career-defining moment for you?
I would have to say, as far as in the city of Lawrenceburg, would be the flood that we had in '98. As far as in the city, that was probably the biggest natural disaster that affected the city and the citizens of Lawrenceburg we've ever had. The second would probably be the ice storm of '94 that affected, as far as in the city limits of Lawrenceburg. Now, I've been honored and had the pleasure of working with and leading in some situations with disasters in the county, which those disasters reached out into the county also. But the F5 tornado that come through West End, through Etheridge, I was fortunate enough to work it. The first one, I was actually the instant commander on the Etheridge side. I also worked the second forgotten F5 because of the Nashville tornado. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of coverage down here. I was just a worker in it for the most part. But it's not about one person in the fire service. It's a group effort. You know, we do a lot of things. It's not I make a few decisions occasionally here and there and try to lead in a direction, but we as a group is what accomplishes everything. And when I say that, I mean the Lawrenceburg Fire Department, and Lawrence County Fire and Rescue, and their individual departments out there that we work with. We all are in this for the same thing. We're all in this to accomplish the same goal.
Now, talking about the county departments, Lawrenceburg has an interlocal agreement. To put it for our viewers, that's an agreement to say that, hey, the county will come help Lawrenceburg if they need it, and then the feeling is reciprocated to the county when they need help.
Right.
And so I think you have ran a lot of calls in the county over the past couple of years.
Yes.
And that maybe has kind of helped also with our ISO rating in town, but you've got a new pumper tanker that you're rolling out to some of these calls now too.
Right.
Talk about that, and what else new is going on with the fire department here.
Okay. Yes, we actually have what they call an automatic aid agreement with two of our outlying departments, Etheridge and New Prospect. Anytime we have a structure fire in the city of Lawrenceburg, both of those departments are automatically paged and respond to the city limits, or to the city, to the scene, unless otherwise instructed to go to the station and make calls for us if any weather comes in, like medical calls, wrecks, or structure fires, other than the one we're on. In return, when those two departments, Etheridge and New Prospect, has a structure fire in their area, we also respond an engine and personnel out to their area to assist them with their fire that they may have. We also do mutual aid countywide as far as if we're called and for assistance, which we have been on multiple occasions, and we'll send an engine and manpower out for that. Just in the last week, we actually responded to Mount Lebanon Road to help Lawrence County Fire and Rescue, Gandy Fire, out there on a very large structure fire. We responded. Our pumper tanker, as Ben was talking about, that we actually received on a FEMA grant. FEMA funds, the grant paid for 95% of that truck. City of Lawrenceburg paid for 5%. It's been a great asset for the city and the county as a whole as far as responding it out to the county. We also have a new mini pumper that we're fixing to roll out, hopefully next week sometime. It'll be put in service. this is not a large fire truck, but it is a Class A pumper. We're hoping that this will take the wear and tear. Our purpose for this is we bought this truck for a 5-year plan because it's got a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty on it, which saves us on maintenance costs, saves us taxpayer money. So hopefully in the first 5 years of this thing, we have very little maintenance costs other than normal maintenance and upkeep, oil changes, tires, brakes, things of that nature. And then hopefully we can roll this truck out and another new one in and get a higher return on our investment back out of the truck, because it'll be such a new truck with little maintenance costs that we spent on it, and the years that it's going to be out of warranty will be on somebody else instead of us. So that's kind of our plan and our goal. As you know, plans can change, so we'll see how this works. The truck is going to be an asset. We actually have some areas in the city that, to be quite frank, we can't get an engine to. This is a 4-wheel drive Ford F550 with it'll pump 1,500 gallon a minute of water, so it pumps the same as a big engine. It's just a smaller version, and we can get it in a lot of places that we can't get a fire engine in. So hence it's got its place, and we're going to see where it goes.
You alluded to my next question a little bit. What are the challenges that the fire department faces, I guess, in Lawrenceburg, but kind of abroad too? I know you've got, like you said, space issues getting down some of the streets and roadways across the area, but I guess challenges go beyond just navigating around parked cars.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest challenge for us and the biggest challenge for County Fire that we're dealing with right now is staffing. County Fire, needs help. It's not like it used to be 30 years ago. You could drive by just about any fire department you wanted to 30 years ago at just about any time, but especially in the afternoons or on Saturday or Sunday, and they would be 4 to 5 cars there, personnel there, doing something in the fire department. And not that they don't do stuff now. I'm not saying that, because they do, but the personnel's not there that was there back then.
Everybody had a waiting list,
yes,
almost.
Yes, the numbers are just not there. The culture has changed somewhat, and to County Fire's credit and to our personnel's credit, we're trying to change that culture, and we're trying to recruit personnel in that can do the job and that we need in those aspects. So I would say that that's probably the biggest challenge that any of our agencies have here fire-wise in the whole county. Safety is first by all means for you, the citizen, and our personnel. We want to try to do everything we possibly can to make sure everybody goes home from whatever incident that it is that we're dealing with. Other challenges, there's challenges every day on planning, just like the weather event coming in. I'll be honest, we started working on this yesterday, getting generator loaded on a truck, making sure everything was good with it, getting trucks put in somewhere where it was going to be warm. Just different things like that we're planning ahead. We're trying to be proactive, so when something does happen, we don't have to react as much. We already got something in place. And when I say we, I say us and County Fire, because we have a very close working relationship. We try to plan in flood events. If we're going to get a lot of rain, we're already planning a day or two ahead of time, trying to make sure everything's ready, our personnel are ready to respond to anything that might happen out there to the public.
It is always a pleasure to sit down and talk to you and to find out what's going on and get the latest scoop on what we can do, because we try to play a part in helping the fire department out as much as possible too. And truly, it is one of the most rewarding careers that you could ever choose to have, because yes, you help people on their worst day, as Chief said. but you also have a family environment there. And I know my destiny kind of took me a little bit of a different path, but I was in that for a while and had the time of my life doing it.
Right.
And I'm always will be grateful for that opportunity.
Right. The fire service is a brotherhood and family situation. Everybody tries to take care of everybody. Everybody tries to help each other as much as possible. To be honest, in our situation at the city, you spend more time with your workers and at work than you do with your family at home. And that's just the way it is. We fortunately, the men wanted to try, most of the men wanted to try a 48-96 schedule, so we have just recently went to a 48-96 schedule for a trial period, 6-month trial period, to see if that's what they really want, the schedule they really want to work. And if not, we'll go back to the schedule we're on now. But this is something the majority of the men wanted to try, so that's what we're doing as far as at the city of Lawrenceburg. So actually, instead of spending 24 hours together on shift, now they're spending 48 hours together on shift. So it's truly a family atmosphere.
Absolutely. And with that, family atmosphere comes pranks.
Oh, yes.
Was Jay Moore a pranker before he was chief?
I have done my fair share of pranks, I would say, throughout the years. Times have changed, and you can't do as much as you used to do years ago. Yeah. But yes, there have been some pranks through the years.
Well-placed fireworks always works great in the white shirt world. So thank you, Chief, for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Have a wonderful day. And again, thank you for tuning in to our interview with Lawrenceburg Fire Chief Jay Moore. 43 TV today brought to you as a service of Marcus Insurance in downtown Lawrenceburg and KW Hood Company. Call Jeff Hood. He'll get you taken care of on finding or selling your home or property. We'll see you back here next Friday morning, 7 a.m. Have a blessed weekend. We'll talk to you soon.